Hello, this is Goddess Runic Seer, and I pay attention to my channel. And apparently, the rune readings people are not getting, or the titles they're not getting. So I'm always constantly in contact, with my guides because I'm trying to grow this channel. I have visions, and I get more views on when I speak about my experience in my life than a rune reading. So here is another video. This full moon energy is crazy. You seem to gain. I'm still in that death spell. You seem to gain more clarity when you have learned something, right? Last night, my mom she was on The Price is Right in 1981, and she wanted to see she wanted to see the video, right? Because she never saw it. And so she was watching a channel that shows the old Price is Right programs, episodes. And so one of my nephews is like, "You're trying to find that episode you were on, huh?" And she's like, yeah, I don't think so. And so something just said to me, not something, Spirit spoke to me and said, go help her, find a YouTube channel. Because my other nephew was like, I think it's episode 400 and something. So I was looking through so I was looking for the one that he said, 427. And it wasn't 427, it was episode 4,500 and something. But, so I was like, November 1981, because she remembered what month she went to Price is Right. Or she was on The Price is Right. So I was going through the months. I went through November 10th. Went through October. She was like, no, it was November. Well, scrolling, I finally find it. Upon watching my mom in 1981, which was amazing because that's before she had me. And it's really amazing to see your mother before she has you. In a video before she has you, it's amazing. I'm gonna keep saying that because I don't have any more words. But it was just, yes. I had to take a little break, when I always make time for my nephews, so yeah. As I was saying, spend time with your kids as much as you can. If you can. That's a whole nother, if you can't, then that's a whole nother video and situation. But what I really wanted to talk about is how everything is coming clear to me. Why I got the death spell put on me, who did it, everything, My ex has been involved in this stuff, and so has my family. I wouldn't put it past you if so I've been down a couple days because of I know something's coming. I'm sorry about this video. I'm just really distracted. But I want to show this because it's not all about this is really hard. This, and you know, it's not easy being a seer, a high priestess. It's not easy because there's things that get revealed to you that it's really hard to chew. That this whole time your ex has been doing things to sending you. There's been really these illusions, you know what I'm saying? It's the veil has been lifted a little bit and things are revealed. If you identify yourself to be a chosen one, you have a twin flame. And in my situation, and I'm assuming in every situation, you don't know who your twin is, or you have never met that person. Because I know who mine is, I just have never met them in this life. My ex is my soulmate. And this man is my twin. You only get one twin, but you get many soulmates. And if a soulmate and within this journey, within this journey, it's spiritual warfare. So you have many attacks, and people are wondering, like, why are people attacking them, and or why is things always wrong? Well, it's because they don't want you to meet your twin. Because these are divine couples. Extremely rare, and it is. But you know, so this is divinely orchestrated. These twin flames. Everybody else knows, like the secret societies and stuff, they know who you are, but you don't know who you are. And if you don't know who you are, they will manipulate you and send all these spells towards you. The goal is to wake up. The goal is to start healing. Is to not let to not stray off the path. I can only describe my own situation and my own experience. My ex is a Virgo, just like me, a Virgo. I didn't really realize the illusion. It's very hard to talk. The illusion, the illusion has been lifted. So I know now. I always knew who my twin was, but I know now that he has nothing to do with all this that's happening. He was attacked just like I was, but he was attacked in a different way, through his wounds and his temptations, through his behaviors, his addictions, right? That's how they attack you. That's how they want to keep you stuck. I had to break out of that. I used to gamble. I used to go to bingo all the time. But I've learned that this couldn't last and it couldn't keep going, because it's a cycle. And you're not getting nowhere in this cycle. If you want to, you have to break. If you want to change, you have to get out that cycle. I know that everything that has happened to me was through my ex. The identity theft papers, me losing my job. See, there's a lot of people in trouble because I lost my job, not because I was late all the time. There was nothing for me to lose. There was no way, no reason. Even if they were making changes, I still should be there. But no, I was fired because they believed whatever was going around about me. And I just wanted to come on here and talk about this whole twin flame situation. Because now I see how I have ascended, I have elevated. And these videos are to teach people and to guide. That's maybe what I should focus on, is trying to guide through the rune readings. I'm still in discussion. I'm still in a conversation, because I'm like, I like the way I'm doing it. But maybe I'm not doing it right or doing it long enough, because there are messages that do come to me after I cut the camera off. I think maybe I should turn it more into I don't know. Anyways, I wanted to clarify that there's an eyelash bothering me. I just wanted to come on here and clarify. I don't know. I hope y'all can hear me. Because, in the summer, my mom just be having the air conditioner just blowing. And I like to sit outside. That's a part of healing, is to you heal the inner child by doing what you always loved to do as a child. There's nothing wrong with that. So I used to always sit outside and just do cloud meditation, look at the clouds, study things, look at how trees grow, look at the birds and everything, You want to heal your inner child by reconnecting to your inner child. You want to heal. If you want to change your life, you have to heal. I've always wanted a different type of partner. But if you don't change your perception, and you don't change the way you live your life, you can't get that new, different partner. you're always going to attract what you really don't want, because your perception hasn't changed. You have to, what is it? In the Bible, it says it's not just reading the word. You have to do it. You don't just read it. You actually apply it. What's that word? Apply it. I'm looking for another word, but I can't. You don't just read it. You become proactive in it. You apply it. And then that's what you attract. Because the universe, because God sees what you're actually doing. You know, in order to, how you get through the twin flame journey is like how you get through a level on Mario. That's how I feel. And if you pass the whole 10 stages, right now I'm playing Cooking Fever. No, what is it called? Anyways, I'm playing a cooking show, right? And you get through, this one is like 30. A restaurant is 30 levels. You get to that last level, it's like you mastered everything in that kitchen. Or almost. Right? So that you can go on to the next restaurant. It's like the twin flame journey. There's things that you have to learn. There's lessons, there's tests, trials and tribulations that you have to go through. And if you both go through them, then you can meet. But on top of that, you know, the enemies are thrown at you, right? You go through spiritual warfare. And you still have to get past those illusions. You know, a big illusion just was lifted off of me last night. I kind of knew my uncle. My uncle didn't like my dad, okay? So I know my family's involved, but to have an ex that really is not in your life affect your life, that's crazy. So there's going to be changes to my animations because now I have to add more people to it, because he's got his people and I have mine that have been trying to keep me away. And like I said, they keep you away from your divine counterpart by manipulating you through your wounds and your temptations. It is hard for me to talk. I probably will come back with another video, but I just wanted to get that part out. Oh. I'm still going through a death spell. I'm still uncomfortable. I'm still uncomfortable. You know, there's this one reader that said, even if you were successful, this one reader, I think I might post it. I said it in another video. I was going to post something and I forgot. She said, two things that she said, important. And this is truly divine sincere. I will post her reading. She said, one thing she said is, even if the death spell was successful, the legacy, the blessings, the money would have just disappeared, would have been just gone, would have just ended. So it's like these people who are trying to keep twin flames apart, you know, they know that they're going to come into money, right? And they think that the exes or the people that they're with right now, their karmic that they're with right now, they think that they can come with them. No, you cannot share in this divine blessing. If you haven't done the work, if you haven't healed, you can't come with them. So all the people that have left their exes, leave. Your soulmate, your true soulmate, and or your twin flame is not going to hurt you. They're not going to hurt you. They're not going to work on your wounds. They're not going to manipulate you through your wounds and your temptations and keep you in a bad cycle. Not if you're hurting yourself, that's not right. So it's like she said, even if the death spell worked, they would have got nothing. They would have got nothing. My ex would have got nothing. His ex would have got nothing. So putting a death spell on me only hurt you more than it's hurt me. Because now you're in trouble with the divine. Now God is looking at you like, now your ancestors looking at you crazy because they told you not to do it and you didn't listen. So now what is it that you got to pay? You got to pay something back. Maybe you go to hell for some time. I'm hearing that some people have lost everything. You know, there's a download that I did last year that I said, you know, you got to be careful what you do in this life, because it's going to affect the next one. And you forget everything, because the goal in life is to figure out, why did you come here? What is your mission? Because everybody has a mission. Whether it's good or bad, everybody has a mission. And the people who are on the bad side, in a future life, because we're all reincarnated until we become Buddha, right? To become an ascendant master. Then even as an ascendant master, you can still come back if you choose. But I'm done. I'm done. What was I saying? Okay, yes, we're all reincarnated. So then it's like, now in the next life, you got to make up, if you want to, if you choose to. But you got to remember, right? That's why I do past life work. Because I'm like, there's generational curses that you have to break. That's past life work, because there's a lot of past life work and a lot of domino effects, right? My mom was like, you remind me so much of her mom. I remind her so much of her mom. So it's like, yeah, in a different reality, I'm probably my mom's mom, and she's my daughter instead of being my mom. You know what I'm saying? So you have to take that into effect too. That's why when it keeps talking about a family member slept with your twin, or it might not be talking about a family member in this life. It could be talking about a family member in a past life. That's why it's a big tapestry of information that you have to learn, if you want to, if you choose to learn. These videos are to help for people to understand how complex and how hard it is to maneuver through life, through the spiritual world, because it's not just the physical, it's spiritual. It's very difficult and hard, because a lot of this is past life work, you know. So when you go into a next tarot reading, you really have to pay attention. You know, the last one that I heard today, you know, it was talking about somebody's twin coming toward them, and somebody was like, oh, he chose somebody else. I went through the same thing. Your twin is not going to choose somebody else over you unless he's under a big illusion. But see, the thing about it is, I don't know my twin. So maybe there's other people that don't know their twins, but they know of them. And you have to be reminded, you have to understand. I don't know why I don't have my thumb stand out here. You have to understand that that person is under illusion, heavy illusion, just like you. They're confused just like you. They're lost just like you. I had to find my way on my own. So it's hard, because a lot of times one twin is more elevated than the other one, more spiritual than the other one, and it's up to you to guide that person through by loving yourself and healing yourself. It's very, very important. But like I was saying, like she said, I've been through that. Been through thinking, oh, he chose somebody over me, but it's because he was manipulated. And I'm not saying that's right. But I'm also saying there's wounding and there's things that this man needs to heal. And by you, if he's watching you, which a lot of twins are watching each other, right? Because you can't get your mind, you can't get your mind off of that person. You always think about that person. That's how, and it's a bond that can't be broken unless God himself does it. Itself, until he chooses to break that bond. So when people are like, oh, I left my twin, I think it probably wasn't your twin, because your twin is not supposed to hurt you. Okay, I don't know if I have any more messages. I have a lot of messages. This is how I channel. I look around and then a thought, or not a thought, but something will appear in my head. I think that's it. I will definitely come on here if I have any more to say. I just am sitting here reflecting and thinking, and it's so much clarity now, Definitely will come on here and speak more and try to do something different with the rune readings so that more people become interested in them. If anybody has any comments, please leave me a comment and give me your ideas on how I can change my rune readings. A big part in changing your life is doing things that you normally don't do. I normally don't ask for help. I'm a Virgo. I don't ask for help. But I'm asking for help now. So if anybody has any suggestions, please put them in the comments below, please. Thank you. This is Goddess Rixir with I can't really talk. Peace. I love you guys, and you guys have a good day.